Sabrina. See, this runs out in like 12 minutes or less or whatever, too. It sucks. It all sucks. Seriously. This is less than ideal, you know. You can't record long movies for whatever reason. I don't know. But anyway, Sabrina, Brendan, Joan, Ryan, Al. And Al was the only competent Comcast person. In the end, the first four names, total debacle, caused me to be told I needed a new Comcast box, and not told that I would lose my DVR recordings that I had saved onto that old box for some up to like a year, maybe a year or more. Some I had saved, okay, a long, long time. And when a supervisor, and I spent hours on talking to these different people over the phone, and when a supervisor insists over and over again that all my recordings will eventually come back onto that box, and then but it takes 24 to 48 hours, and then I wait and don't see him coming back slowly at all. So I fortunately get a good person who actually knows, and he apologized to me. I swore at him. I was swearing, and he's like, I see where you're coming from, Miss So-and-so. I see that you're thinking one hand doesn't know what the other's doing, and how they're not, you know, and just like, how come we're not on the same page here? And it's disgusting. He agreed with me. It was ridiculous. I'm like, a supervisor. How can a supervisor not know? You add insult to injury. I'm on the phone with you for hours crying. And you insist it's fine. First a regular person, then a supervisor gets on to back up with the regular person, said, oh no, it's fine, it's going to come back. We have them all saved, all your stuff saved. And it took, and this guy's like, no. And I'm like, you know what? I called literally a half an hour after the technician left. You could have caught my old box. I didn't need the new box. Turned out, okay. You could have caught him on the road. You could have got it back from me if you guys were confident. Oh my God. I will tell you that story in full at a later time when I can be loud and swear and et cetera, okay, and do it in the kitchen when it's late and not be worried about waking up my mom. Just like I will also tell you in full what happened within minutes of my mom getting discharged from that mental hospital, quicker than, you know, she got out faster, quicker than I've ever seen her get out, at least over the past 6+ years since I moved here in 2012. Okay. As some of you are aware, I spent 6.5 months in a shelter before Auntie allowed me to come here, but that was because I got a proof of disability. So, you know, of course I was upset to no end. I escaped my abusive relationship to land in a homeless shelter for 6.5 months, but in retrospect, it was the best thing that could happen because, you know, it got me an income. It's just I never thought that it would, you know, but my mom repeated, whatever. I just didn't think that I would still be here, you know. Remember, I loved where I was living with Bobby, and that was not my fault that ended. It wasn't remotely my fault. He tricked me. I think his landlord had something over on him, and remember, he'd been married twice before, and then but he tricked me because some of you watched my videos then, and I was happy there. I was starting to heal a little bit, and it all came crashing down on me, and it wasn't my fault. Bobby had been warning me that his landlord had recently, you know, wanted family members. It was a 2-part house thing. Wanted family members to live in that part, and it had, you know, it just gave the landlord a reason when Bobby wanted us to move out, when I was going to move out and have I wanted a 30-day notice, and that was a crime, but that was because Bobby's dog, Max Shepherd Collie, that come to find out lived on the streets in another country for the first near year of his life, and probably had flashbacks or whatever, but nearly killed Omar in front of me. in his sleep. Omer was on my lap sleeping, some of you know, and Max was dreaming, and Omer stirred, and Max loved me and wanted to be near me and was jealous as hell of Omer. Max would sleep outside of my door because Omer was sleeping in my bed in the room. That should, and you know, but whatever. I liked it there up until my dog nearly died in front of me at the hands of Bobby's dog. But none of that was my fault, okay? I mean, I let this guy come and pick me, you know, I'm not going to go through that story again. It was, everything in my life is like, whatever. He could have been a murderer and I could have been dead instantly anyway, you know. But I did get references. I got references from this female employee. I got references, not employee, coworker, and you know. So I didn't just go sight unseen with any guy who, you know, he had answered my roommate ad on Craigslist and was insisting what a good guy he was, and it turned out he was a good guy until he wasn't such a good guy. That's what Joe says. Anyway, there are people that can be really nice and really wonderful, as long as it doesn't, but when push comes to shove, they'll throw you under the bus to save their own ass. So, can you read that? I don't know if you can read it. It says when love takes over. I had to walk to the market and get us some food. And I was intentionally singing loud, but it was early.